this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments, and I am bringing you an unexpected video today. I thought I was just going to throw a couple pages together with some enlargements that I had. That is mostly water, but it's beautiful water from Oahu for my Hawaii album. But after I got about halfway through setting up the layout and kind of assembling it, or at least one page of it, I decided, you know, this is really something easy and fairly simple, and I should be sharing this with you. So I'm going to share with you how to assemble this. I'm going to show you what I've already assembled and then show you how I did it on the opposite side of the page so that you can do it too. Let's see what's on my workspace. Okay, so here's what I have on my desktop for the moment. Like I said, I was halfway through one of my layouts that I was just doing just kind of so I could move forward in the album, because I know it's not really important for you to see every single page. And so I was just trying to do something that would be pretty and functional and showcase some 5x7 enlargements that I put together, or that I did for these photos, because they're so beautiful. Again, this is the southeastern edge of the island, and I started cutting paper and assembling things when my husband was watching TV, and I started assembling it actually on the last page of the pages, the finished pages that you've already seen me put together. I've already gone ahead and put into the cover set just to keep them safe and protected as much as I can until I can journal and put the page protectors on. But anyway, so the last page, of course, wasn't done yet. So this is the page these are the two pages that we're going to continue with. And these are a couple of the enlargements that are going to go on this page. So let me just show you. This is kind of how these are going to lay out. Of course, these two are 5x7s, which I cut down by about 3/8 of an inch on both sides, so that I could use a 5x7 frame and still have a nice frame around it, but not lose the grandeur of the larger print, and still kind of economize my paper. If you're not familiar with the trick of being able to cut four 5x7 mats out of one 12x12 piece of paper, I thought I would show you that really quickly, because that's what I used with this. But the reason this is in a different colored mat is because I have 6 photos that are going on here, and obviously you only get 4 mats out of one piece of one 12x12 piece of paper. I think 4 5x7 mats is a lot. And I didn't have another piece of green to use on this particular layout, so I just used the same teal that I used here and cut 2 more mats with that. I think it'll work out fine. Let me show you how to cut those 4 5x7 mats out of one piece of paper really quick, so that you know that trick, and then we'll assemble this page to go along with this layout and do the embellishments. So I'm just going to use this Island Waters. These are my other photos that are going to go on that right side of the page, and I'll tell you more about what I did here in just a second. But let me go ahead and just share with you this quick trick. I do have a video on it on my channel in case you forget or need to go back and remind yourself, but just a very quick reminder I'm going to do right now for you. So you either start with 7 inches. No, you do. You start with 7 inches. I don't know why I'm saying either. Start with 7 inches. So you put your corner here at 7. Then you're going to use the measurements on your grid right here. And knowing that your blade is 1 inch from the edge of your housing, 1 inch in, that allows you to use this end of your housing to measure how far you're cutting. So we're going to cut each time to the 6-inch mark with the end of our housing. That will bring our blade down. No, let me backtrack. You're not going to cut 6 inches, you're going to cut 7 inches. Just follow me, okay? So we're going to go down to the 8-inch mark with our housing. That cuts to 7 inches. Then we're going to rotate our page and again put it at the 7-inch mark over here. Start at the top, cut down till the housing is at 8 inches. Don't go beyond that. Be very careful. Okay, there's one. We're going to turn our paper to 7 inches. Come down with the housing to 8 inches. There's 2. Turn our paper again. Corner up here is at 7 inches. Up here we're just going to go all the way through. And here's 3, and here's 4, and you end up with this cute little 2-inch square that you can use as with an embellishment or something on another layout. All right, so just a fun little trick. We call these magic mats because if you can do this with literally any size mat, but you have to have a square that equals the length and the width of whatever mat you're going to use. So just a fun little tidbit to help you out. Now, if you have the CM 12-inch trimmer, what I did was I used the wavy blade, which is this one right here, the green one. And I used the wavy blade and I cut this blue piece of paper. These are Tropic Time papers from the Tropic Time collection. I used this blue paper here and I cut 8 pieces that were 3/4 of an inch wide. So they're 3/4 by 12, and they are used as kind of as stripes to complement this piece, which is just one piece of paper that I took the wavy blade and I cut the very edge of the 12 by 12 piece of paper. I cut both straight edges, and then I cut right down the middle. And if it's easier for you, you can do the middle first. In fact, I would say do the middle first, then you're more apt to get two even pieces, because it is kind of difficult because you do trim off just a little bit on the edge, and then it can be hard to know where is the middle. So cut it in half first with your wavy edge blade, and then you can use each of those, and just what I did was I just lined up my piece of paper with my flat edge on the right hand dotted blade pathway on your mat. Not the one that you're actually cutting on, but the one to the right of it. That's where I put the flat edge of my paper, and then I went down with my rolling, or with my waving blade. Anyway, so then I had two basically half-size pieces of paper. All right, so then what I did was I took one of these pieces. So we're just going to add a little bit of adhesive to one of the strips. And this piece goes across at about a 1/2 inch from the top, maybe just shy of a 1/2 inch from the top edge of your page. And because I'm using these natural pages, it allows me to benefit from the sandy color of the background. Remember how I was telling you that's my favorite thing about these pages, is I'm not working on a stark white page. And when you're doing tropical pages, it's perfect, or beach pages, it's perfect. Maybe not so much at Christmas time, but the rest of the time I think it works really, really well. Anyway, that's my opinion. Other people have their own. Okay, so then I'm going to put it in equal distance. This is going to be an equal distance from this top piece. And I'm just going to make sure, since I already have one page done, yeah, that's right. All right, so that matches my other page. If I had the other page flat, I could put them right next to each other and just make sure that these parameters are matching up, which is the ideal thing. But since I already put it in the book, I can't really do that this time around. And you're wondering to yourself, why in the world did I put it in the book when I'm not done with it? Well, I got anxious and I wanted to see what it was going to look like in the cover set. Do you ever do that? Wish that you, or want to see a project, how it's going to look when it's done, even though it's not quite done? Anyways, I just thought, well, it wouldn't hurt to put those in there. Plus, it made it easier for me to share it with a couple of people that had come by, so to visit. All right, so this one, I'm putting it above the lower edge of my page, the same distance that the top one is from the top. So roughly 3/8 of an inch. Then this one is going to go that same distance from, roughly that same distance from the printed designer page, half sheet that we have on here. Isn't this fun? It's so easy and relatively quick, and then you can put your pictures right on top of it, and it works really, really well. Since I'm using since I'm using enlargements predominantly on these pages, we probably won't see a lot of this work, so I really didn't want to take a whole lot of time to do a really elaborate background, because when you put 3 5x7s on a page, it crowds out pretty much everything else, right? So like here, I'm pretty much wall to wall photos, unless I overlap them a smidge, which I could do. I could overlap just the border and then get a tiny bit of my designer paper to show around it. Same thing here. Okay, so we're going to do something like that. Now I'm going to use a matte card that I'm going to cut in half to use as some journaling area. Let me grab my trimmer one more time because I need to cut this apart. This is one of the matte cards from the Tropic Time collection, so everything matches. That's one of the things I love about having a whole collection of things. I don't have to worry about whether it matches or whether it's off by just a little bit or complementary or anything like that. I know that it matches because it's the same, from the same collection, using all the same colors, all the same shades of all the same colors. Okay, so let me see here. I'm going to lay this one out just so we can see them both next to each other. And scooting this in here so you can see it. There we go. All right, so I'm not sure why my camera is so close right now. It didn't used to be quite so close. We had to make some adjustments, and I think maybe at that point it got a little bit off. That's okay. I can fix it later. All right. So I think what we're going to do is, what I'm going to do is tuck this guy up underneath. I think. And this one, actually maybe we'll do the opposite. Maybe I'll get this guy and tuck him up underneath. Then I can just add a little bit to that and to embellish, and then I can tuck this guy underneath these over here and embellish down here. I think that would work. And then maybe we'll do something in the middle there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some of these put down. We'll start with this one up here. So Tropic Time, you might not think that Tropic Time really coordinates with Serene Waters super well, because they are kind of very different, still tropical, but and still water, related kind of, but not, like the color schemes are different. But you might recall that just before this page is, I'll show you. I'll flip the page over and show you. Just before this page is this layout right here with all of the waves, the wave border up here, and it's done with similar paper and paper from the same collection, similar colors. And so I feel like it helps the blue from the water just really pop off the page. So I decided to continue that over here because it was the same type of. So this is Serene Waters for the most. Yeah, this is Serene Waters collection. This is Tropic Time. So again, still tropical, just a little bit different. And I'm keeping the kind of the theme the same for the same area, so using the Tropic Time papers. With with the same type of photos. Come on, pop up there. Put a little bit of extra adhesive right there. All right, so lay all that down there. I have one of the cool embellishments, one of many, from the Tropic Time collection are these great palm trees. Aren't they cool? And I just thought they would be perfect on these pages with all the water, because they're on this end of the island, and this particular area, there's no beach per se, really. In this cove right here, there is a tiny little bit of a beach up in this area, but for the most part, it's mostly just rock and coral and stuff. So I just thought it might be kind of nice to add a little bit of something in the form of a tree. And I'm going to just pop up these heads of the palm trees to give them a little bit more emphasis. Not popping up the trunk of the tree, so that will also add emphasis because the trunk will not be at the same level as the palms. Okay, so we've got that. Kind of accents this part over here. Let's go ahead and get these put down. Start with this one. And I'm going to try to put this at the same height as the 5x7 on the other page. But I have to make it much closer to the edge of the paper the edge of the page because of the 5x7 that's going next to it. the vertical one. This one right here. Okay, and this one is going to go overlapping the border, the mat, just a smidge. And then this one is going to overlap the water just a smidge. I think we'll go with that. All right. Here we have this guy that needs to go on. I love that these were on the same mat, so I can just cut one mat instead of cutting a second mat in half to get that one done. I cut one mat and I got both layouts, which is really, really nice. And I've got some other leaves over here, but I think maybe some flowers might be a better idea. Let's see, what else have I got in here? There's a flower, some leaves, but not the right kind of leaves for what we're doing. A surfboard, another surfboard. I could go back and add those to those pages with the surfboards on them. All right, this is going to be way too big to stick down there. So we could do 2 flowers and probably get away with that. There's another kind of flower. What am I putting in the middle? Aha! Paradise. Paradise. Indeed. Paradise. That one could go maybe at the top. Do I want it with that color? Or do I want it with maybe this would be better? Pull out some of that gold color from the paper. We've got a red, we've got a gold. I think I like that better. All right. Stick that on there like so. And then I think maybe up here would be good. We need something up here in the top part of the page, so I think yeah, I'm only covering up a tiny bit of the water on there. We'll put that up there, paradise. And then these 2 little flowers down here, I'll go ahead and pop up with some small foam squares. It's so fun when you get excited about a layout and know that it's going to be fairly quick and easy to put together. Super fun. All right, so we've got just those little flowers down there to kind of pull things all together. All right, what do you think? I loved these pictures. In fact, a couple of them are going up on my bedroom wall on canvases because we love water. Water is calming to me. So, and I want that space to be a calming space. So that's, anyway, this is just a fun, quick layout I just wanted to share with you. And I hope that it's inspiring to you. I hope that it helps you get some of your pages done really quickly. You don't always have to do super fancy. It takes a lot of time, you know, cutting and fancy borders and fancy this and fancy that. Sometimes it's just fun to put something together super fast and have it turn out beautiful, just like this. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope that you have many more creative moments, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.